I want to ask you something fun today. What is your quirk, your odd interest, that special thing about you that doesn't quite fit the mold, the normal one? Maybe it's something you do when no one's watching. Maybe it's a creative outlet you've developed over the years. Maybe it's just the way you are. We would love to hear it. Share in the chat if you feel called and hold on to the question. We'll come back to it. Welcome to another Soul Sunday. This is episode 24 since October last year. As always, an important reminder, whatever we say, check with your inner knowing what feels true for you. You can have your camera on. You will not appear on the recording unless you turn on your microphone. And you can ask your questions live, and then you will appear on YouTube later. You can always ask your questions or comment in the Zoom chat or on Facebook. We have a lot of people coming in here. Wonderful to see you again. Welcome. Last week, we explored trust and gratitude, and why gratitude is the key to deepening trust. And I shared a story of selling our tiny house some years ago and having no idea where to go, where to live, with only 2 weeks' notice. But we trusted that things would work out, and they did. And we got a lovely house, even if we didn't have all the money for it. And the Hill's message last week was that to trust is to feel gratitude for everything that actually worked out for you. And honestly, most things do, if not all, work out for you. Just look at everything that did work out for you already and know that it will again and again. Obstacles included. They're just guiding points and gatekeepers anyway. Gratitude deepens trust, and trust opens the door, and the door opens at the exactly right moment. You can watch the full episode on my YouTube channel. So, if trust opens a door at the exact right moment, the next question is, what happens when you've been waiting for the door to open for years, but it feels like it won't open because you don't fit the shape of the doorway? And what happens when you're highly sensitive, when you process everything more deeply? When the normal way of living in the world feels like wearing shoes 3 sizes too small? And what happens when you're holding back has becoming your default? Not because you want to, but because the world told you that you're too much, too sensitive, or too intense. And today we're exploring being highly sensitive and defining a new way to live when you make it your superpower. How about that? Many highly sensitive people, for them, it's not about fixing yourself or changing yourself to an old system. It's about creating a completely new way to live that is in alignment with who you actually are. This topic is so close to my heart. Yeah. I could feel that, Sophie. Thank you. So, my perspective from a soul's purpose and the cost of holding back. Here's what I learned working with highly sensitive people over the years, and honestly, most of my clients are highly sensitive. Something that is very common is that they hold back, and that it has a huge cost. It's one of the most expensive things you can do, actually. It takes away joy and it stops others from experience your gifts. Many highly sensitive people hold back because they have too much to process, not only their own feelings, They're afraid of being judged. Many of us learned that from childhood. And they're overwhelmed by impressions and don't feel accepted. And they don't fit the normal mold, like in a workplace, in a gathering, and generally in society. I was a slow learner. I had over 30 jobs before I realized it doesn't work for me. So I had to create my own work. And highly sensitive people often think it's their fault. Well, it isn't. It's not your fault that you don't fit a system that wasn't designed for you. The old system, like crushing it 9 to 5 or 7 to whatever, the bright loud lights, the loud spaces, and the pushing through the workday, toughen up, and don't be so sensitive. You heard it all your life. That system is breaking down anyway. And highly sensitive people are often the ones leading the way into something new. Because you have to. Because you can't survive in the old way. And so you create your own job, your own business, your own vocation, your own way of living that's in alignment with who you are. And folks, friends, this is not a weakness. This is your soul's purpose showing you the way. And Sophie, you write again, currently on sick leave from yet another workplace and facing the challenge of uncertainty. Yeah, I totally resonate. I know exactly what that's like. So, and it's courageous to take care of yourself and go on a sick leave. Yeah, it's definitely not nothing wrong with it if you can allow yourself to really tune in what is going on. So your sensitivity isn't something to fix. It's information and guidance. It's your soul saying, what you've been trying to do doesn't work anymore. Can we find another way that works? And when you stop trying to fix yourself into a shape that was never yours, when you stop holding back to make others comfortable, and this is a big one for many of us, pleasing yourself through life so that other can feel comfortable. That is a way to holding back a lot. And when you start expressing what wants to be expressed instead, then everything changes. Not just for you, but for everyone around you as well. Because the more you shine, the more you give others permission to do the same. And another is writing in the chat, I have never felt that I was fitting in. Yeah, we feel that too. And we don't have to, really. We are here for a completely different purpose. And Yvonne, my darling, you have been exploring this deeply, the body's role in all of this, the symptoms that show up when we're out of alignment. You actually healed yourself from fibromyalgia. Not so easy to express, pronounce, and how to anchor yourself when the world feels overwhelming. So, Yvonne, the space is yours. Over to you.
Thank you, my dear and lovely souls. It is so wonderful to be here you again and together with all of you and in this beautiful, beautiful space. And I also want to welcome all of you who is new here today. Our theme today is really important one for me and my life. So I wrote some, or maybe some more words this time, which I want to share with you. Because some days ago, I wrote a post where I shared my feelings about not fitting in and how I nowadays meet and integrate all these parts of my being that mirror the state. And when I think about it, especially my high sensitivity, was a challenge in my past. And I'm sure that many of you may recognize these experiences. For me, it is obvious that my system was working in a totally different way than others. But for a long time, I didn't understand this, which was challenging for both my health and my well-being in all areas, actually. And everything in my life was much more present, and I experienced my surroundings like 10 times more intensely. It was always as if the response of my senses was higher than others. And there were many things I couldn't even participate in. When my childhood friends enjoyed the amusement park, it wasn't possible for me to be with them without a high stress response. All these impressions, the smells, the noises, the fast movements of light, it was so much information for my body. Every time I nevertheless did participate, it took me a long time to recover afterwards. And I remember the last time I visited a park with my daughter some years ago. She really wanted to go there together with me. And so I decided to have a big backpack with me for grounding. And then I sat down as often I could on the grass or on the stones where they're all around, just to stay within myself and to calm my senses and reconnect with my body and to the earth. And or all these other times in my life when I joined the room, I directly took in the energy of everyone around me. Until today, I see, feel, and I'm with everything that touches my own field in a more intense way, a much more wider openness, actually. And another very special gift for me is the possibility of feeling the power of different phenomena in nature, like the power of water and the power of wind, the power of fire, trees, stones, and many more. Some show themselves very strongly in my body, and it can be so overwhelming for my nervous system. But they really have to say, I love to read these energies anyway. I actually love to connect with the language of the nature. So these were some of my own thoughts and experience, and I think many of you can relate or complement here. I would love to read your reflections if you feel to share in the chat or through Messenger later on. And I'm also very happy that we nowadays have a much bigger openness for these reflections, to identify and to recognize ourselves for personal inner growth and expansion. And still, there are different thoughts and feelings that come with being highly sensitive. Many feel shame, guilt, or other difficult emotions about it, as if something is wrong or even weak inside of us. And with these feelings, we can feel lost and disconnected. But for me today, I see it in a totally different way. Highly sensitivity is just a wonderful way of being deeply alive. It is not a flaw or weakness, like Elof mentioned earlier. It is a fine-tuned instrument, one that perceives more, feels more, and connects more deeply with the invisible threads that weave through all of life. Like a spider in its web. Maybe it's a good example for more visible picture, I think. The spider has all these threads that are connected to her. Just the tiniest movement in it sends directly all the information to her. And her sensibility to catch these little fractions in her, this is her gift, her safety, and her strongest power she has. And I really want to share with you today why I believe that. Science tells us that highly sensitive people, and there are many of us, it's around 15 to 20% of the population, they have a nervous system that is wired to process everything much more deeply. And we notice subtleties that others miss. We feel the undercurrents beneath the surface of things. And but there is also another layer to this. Not all, but I think many of us who carry deep sensitivity also carry a history, including myself, where sensitivity and trauma are often intertwined. And when we grow up in environments where it wasn't safety to be fully ourselves, where your feelings were too much or needs to be big, your perception dismissed, your nervous system learned to be on high alert. We learned to feel everything because feeling everything felt like staying safe. So sometimes what we call sensitivity is also the body's wisdom and a response to a world that didn't always hold us gently enough. And that, I believe strongly, deserves our compassion and not our judgment. Because there are so many gifts that lives inside our sensitivity. You know, when we begin to shift, um, when we begin to shift our relationship to our sensitivity, when we stop fighting it and instead start listening to it, in my experience, something opens. We just realize that the same system that once felt like a burden, and it really did for me a long time, but now I understand that this is also the source of the deepest gifts. We get the ability to feel others deeply, and that is empathy in its purest form. Or we can read a room, sense what is unspoken, know what is needed, which shows itself as a deep intuitive wisdom. And like me, you can deeply be moved by nature, by the beauty, and this is a capacity for profound presence, something I choose to work with in my art and mentorship. And all these abilities, they are not small things to me. No, I think these are the things the world is aching for. So how do we begin to live with our sensitivity rather than against it? For me, it starts with acceptance. Not a forced acceptance, but a slow, tender turning toward ourselves. Today, you can begin with the willingness to say, this is how I am made, and I am allowed to be me. You can do it right now, and it hasn't to be just for sensitivity. It can also be for many other traits. Hold a hand on your heart and feel the grounding connection to the earth and say these words with a loving, honest, and embracing intention. This is how I am made, and I am allowed to be me. And breathe. You know, self-compassion is for me the beginning for all transformation. What I learned and integrated through my life is that we want to learn to listen. We want to notice when our system is full and needs rest. And also very important here, I think, is that we want to recognize the difference between our own energy and someone else's. And that we want to build a life that honors our depth rather than apologizing for it. It means finding our anchors, the things that bring us back to ourselves. For me, it is nature, the grass beneath my feet, the language of water and wind and more. And these are not luxuries, these are necessities. And it is the understanding that you were never meant to fit into a world that was not built for souls like yours. You were meant to help build a new one. So for me, sensitivity is not the problem. Sensitivity is my compass, and it can be yours too. It always points toward what is true, what is real, and what matters. And when we follow it with courage and with gentleness, we don't just find our way home to ourselves. No, we also light the way for others to do the same. That is what my beloved Elof and I work with in our soul business. And this is what we want to invite you to. Thank you for listening.
That was indeed an embodied wisdom for me, and I know you've done a lot of work with this. Beautiful. And we have a question from Sophie. Uh, yeah, we can take that by the end of the call after the meditation. Maybe something will clear up for you. And thank you for your comments. Uh, to anyone who's new here, I'm a spokesperson for a collective of nonverbal autistic here in Sweden, and that I've been working for many, many years. And they are real people. And since they cannot speak, we have developed another way of communicating, also remotely. So we meet in another dimension every morning at 5 a.m. for telepathic communication and mentoring. And some of our courses are based on those transmissions. And every Sunday we share something from them. And actually, the Soul Sundays are partially initiated by our friends on the Swedish Hill. So what I'm gonna read today is a transmission from January. We had an experience course over 3 weeks called Remembering Your Light. So I'm reading. We honor that you show up for yourself and your soul's longing to express and experience your unique gifts and expressions in this dimension in your human form. Holding back is one of the most expensive and draining things you can do. It robs you of joy and robs others of the chance to experience more joy. If you stand back because you're afraid that someone else would feel less than whole, you're denying both of you from being more. Don't let your own light be stopped at the gate because of fear of what others might think. We don't say this to judge you. We say this as a fact to shake you up a bit. We say it with rough love. We're actually not even talking to you. We're communicating with your limiting beliefs, your subconscious mind, and whatever you came with that is not yours. So that you, with love and self-compassion, can observe exactly what wants to take form and shape and be expressed instead of what's holding you back. A bird doesn't ask for permission to sing. The bird sings because the song wants to be sung. Can you feel it? Being yourself is the greatest gift you can give yourself and the world. You are wanted and needed, and the more you keep shining, the more you inspire others to do the same. What happens inside of you when you allow more than you block? If joy comes, welcome it. If fear comes, witness it. It's just a gatekeeper anyway. And forgive yourself when you can't, and come back to the truth of who you are. Open the door and get a glimpse of what true freedom feels like. Because you are a bright shining star and a miracle and a light of eternal potential. Allow to let your divine light shine. We love and honor you for who you are, your friends in eternity. End of transmission. So, how does that land for you? Speaking about what happens when we let, basically, from my perspective, our wounds holding us back. And there's nothing wrong with it. We've all done it. But what happens if you transcend the wounds and use your gifts, your quirks, your special uniqueness anyway? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Because a bird doesn't ask for permission to sing. The bird sings because the songs wants to be sung. And for highly sensitive people, you often been told directly or indirectly that your song is too loud, too much, too intense, or in the wrong place. But what if the world needs exactly your song, your way of expressing yourself? What if your sensitivity isn't a burden, but a compass pointing you toward a completely new way of living, like Yvonne said? What happens inside of you when you allow more than you block? And that's the question, and that's the practice. Being on this special planet with your special gifts. So, I think it's appropriate to go over to remembrance healing meditation. And this is something we usually do so that you can experience your essence in a new way in this context. So you can find a comfortable position if you haven't already. This is gonna be a completely in the moment transmission for everyone's watching either now or watching or listening to the replay. So you're invited to a space that we called the remembrance field. It's an actual field between Arcturus and Lemuria, or in other words, between Source and Earth, but just in a more concentrated form, with all the ancient wisdoms in the field that you can feel in your body right now. And this is a space to remember your unique essence. So this is not healing from the outside. It's actually what we're doing is that I hold space, I clear the space for you so that you can access and activate your inner powers to heal yourself. So that you can allow yourself to be. So please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse. Everything that's just shatter, anything that you can let go of right now. And feel your feet, feel your body, feel your breath come and go. You don't have to force anything, just allow yourself to be. And feel the earth beneath you. Connect deeply with the love of Mother Earth. And we would like to remind you of your root chakra. To clear, balance, harmonize, align your root chakra with your unique soul signature frequency. Your unique presence in this dimension, in this lifetime. And let it soften. And if you want, you can allow a beautiful ruby red color to remind you of your worth in this physical body, right here and right now, grounded and connected. And we would like to remind you of your second chakra, your life force just below the navel. Please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse any distractions around that space. And let it vibrate in perfect harmony with your unique soul signature frequency. Your joy, your passion for being here, beyond all the noise and wounds and everything you experienced. Allow for expansion in this area. And keep breathing, keep feeling your feet, your body. And we ask you to remember your solar plexus, the soft space between your rib cage, your soul connection point, where you can have straight access to the eternal truths and the deepest remembrance of your soul's purpose in a physical body. So please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse. And let go of everything that is in dissonance, distortion. And let your soul fill up from the inside. You can allow for a citrine yellow sunshine color around your solar plexus if you like. And breathe. Feel your body, feel your feet, feel the expansion. And if there is a contraction, just let it. It will change, transform, as you fill up yourself from the inside. And we would like to remind you of your heart space, where you express your unique soul signature frequency to other people with your words, your actions, your compassion. So please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse, and realign your heart space with your soul presence. And fill up with a beautiful emerald green, for inner heart space healing and expansion. And breathe and feel your body and feel your feet. And we would like to remind you of your throat chakra, where you express your soul through your heart, through your words, your vibration, your songs, your humming, and your becoming even more who you are, how you express yourself in this world. And if you're unable to speak or sing, you can tune in to the energy of it. Please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse this space for you. And fill up with a beautiful light blue color to enhance the expansion. So that your voice expression resonate with your unique soul signature frequency through your heart, through your voice. And breathe and feel your feet, feel your body in this remembrance field. And we would like to remind you of your visual intuition in your third eye. That can remote view, get hunches, insights with your inner eye. So please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse this space so that it's free from distortion and connected with your soul. So that you can filter what you perceive and find out what is true for you, what visions are true for you. Surrounded by a wonderful indigo light. And we would like you to be reminded of your crown chakra, your direct channel through your body into the earth, so that you are a clear channel for this physical body in this time and space. This thread is always active, always aligned, so that the rest of you can align as well. And breathe and feel your feet, feel your body. And please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse, and fill up with the crystallite energies, Mother Earth love, and God's wisdom for all the mini chakras and all the rest of the chakras in your 7 bodies, above, below and around you, so that you can shine in alignment from the inside. And remember your light codes that your physical body is made up of. And breathe and feel your feet, feel your body. And we would like to surround you, if you want, with an amethyst purple so that you can integrate this remembrance healing, activation of your inner healing powers. And thank you. Thank you for this space. And welcome back in your own time. And if you want to share how this experience was for you, you're welcome to do so. You can also come back to this in the recording. And we have now 23 other kind of remembrance healings and meditation in previous episodes on the YouTube channel. So, do you remember the question that I asked in the beginning? What's your quirk? What's your odd interest? That special thing about you that doesn't quite fit the normal mold. Here's what I know. Many highly sensitive people have developed incredible artistic, creative, or unique ways to find an outlet for who they are. And maybe, just maybe, you got access to something in this remembrance healing meditation, like a bodily sensation, a new door opening. All those times you've been shrinking to fit in, you found ways to express what couldn't be contained. That's not coping mechanisms. Well, sometimes they are, but most of all, it's your soul finding a way to express itself through you. And maybe, just maybe, that quirky thing, that odd interest, that special thing about you is exactly what the world needs and wants. I have a bunch of those. I do astral traveling, both as a tool to get information, and sometimes for my own pleasure. And I'm a starseed from Arcturus, and I'm being very open with it. I'm channeling wisdom from my guides there, and of course, our friends on the Swedish hill. I'm also one of only 60 people who play a rare flute of bamboo with a history of 1200 years. All of those things help myself to stay balanced and aligned. And those things, modalities, also help other people to remember who they are when they resonate. So I ask you, what would happen if you stopped holding back? If you let your shine light without asking for permission? What a new way of living are you being called to create? Please share in the comments if something landed for you. I think we had a question. Where was it? Is it answered? Yeah, preparing, Sophie asked, preparing to go on a 5-day journey. with your family of origin, and the fear, is it still present? My general response to that is to ground yourself daily, bare feet. And you know the soul meditation, I'm sure you got it, or else you can get it free on YouTube or on my website. But let your soul fill up from the inside. It's a little of what we did today. There's so much to read in the chat, so I can't really catch up. Somewhere still, but the remembrance healing was very deep restoring. Thank you. Wonderful. And those are my general things. One way I regulate is put myself in water year round. And if you prefer warm water, perfectly fine. And I know for women it's easier with warm water. I don't mind cold water anytime, but we're different. But that does something with the electricity in your body. It sort of resets something. And perhaps you can do a meditation or remembrance healing after that. Did that answer your question? Or Yvonne, do you have anything to add? No. All right. Otherwise, you can just come back to us. You can always, anyone can ask your questions in on Messenger or by email. Yes, I've experienced. Where is it? I got lost. Yeah, I have experienced with water. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you. So we're coming to an end. If there is no more questions, there is a comment. I understand deeply what you feel here. Oh, talking about something and understanding that no one in the room understands you or what you're talking about. And Yvonne, you answered, I understand deeply what you feel here. It comes with many different emotions. And still we are connected to everyone and everything, also if the mind isn't aligned with them around us. And the response is, I have actually just started to talk about it freely without feeling in danger. Good. I have also discussed that my son understands what I'm talking about. Beautiful. Ingela, thank you. Now I understand why I take baths so often. Yes, indeed. It's a great reset and healer that is all around us. Anyway, we're coming to a closure. I'm Elof. I'm a soul guide for heart-centered leadership. And in simple words, I help you clear the noise from the things that happened in the past, generational trauma, old patterns that aren't yours, and guide you back to your soul so that you can lead yourself from there. And my core tools are soul retrieval, energy balancing for your whole system, and clearing limiting beliefs from your subconscious mind in real time. Some of those things we do in these sessions while being awake, and it can all be done online, as you have noticed. And if you'd like to explore this deeper, you can book a clarity call to see if we resonate and what I can do for you. I've had people come with all sorts of stress symptoms, weird pains and aches, often when other modalities didn't work. And usually we can clear them quite easily when we have the right keys. We follow the right energy thread. And you can check my website for reviews and more on this. These transmissions were brought to you by me, our friends on the Swedish Hill, and many other unseen and powerful beings. And last but not least, my darling co-host Yvonne, holding ground for us all. This space is free and always will. If today's transmission and remembrance healing resonates and you'd like to support our work, donations are warmly welcome. And every contribution can help other people watch this when they need it. And there's a link in chat, comment, or description. Thank you for today, and remember, thank you, Ingela, thank you, Sophie, thank you, Elof and Yvonne. Your presence and wisdom means so much. Lovely, thank you. We're so happy to share this space with you. And remember, you are a bright, shining star and a miracle, a light of eternal potential. So shine on, lovely people. Take care and hope to see you next week or sooner. Many blessings. Thank you.